my name is Miho Murai, and I used to be an LAUSD teacher back in the 1990s. And right now, I'm an education rights attorney, and I'm an immigration attorney. And I'm here because I really believe that it's so important that the community supports the strike. When I was a teacher back in the 90s, we were fighting for the same things. We were asking for a lot of the things that you guys are asking now. But the difference between before and now is that this time it's not about just salaries and benefits. It's not just about things that that we actually did resolve. I was not a teacher in the 1989 strike, but it was resolved then. This time it's about asking for what the kids need. The kids really need a small class size. When I was a teacher, I had about 13 students, and it was not a special ed class.
Oh my God.
But I had a half-time teacher. And the reason is because I was teaching a Model B class I was teaching bilingual ed, and at my particular school there were not that many students that spoke Spanish, so I had a really small class. But then at one point I had an African American girl that came into my class, and so even just with that one student, it was very difficult because I had to change the structure, the way I taught my class, because obviously I couldn't just use Spanish or she would feel left out because she would speak Spanish. And then the other thing that I really, really believe in is they're asking for full-time nurses, they're asking for school counselors, they're asking for librarians. Why is that important? Why does that matter? It's important because what I do is I represent kids with disabilities, and my kids that have diabetes, they may not be able to stay in public schools because there's no full-time nurses that will give them insulin. And why do they need counselors? Well, because you know what's going on with Trump and everything and ICE coming into the schools, that is impacts the mental health of so many students and the parents. And yes, it is going to cause the need for counseling. But if we don't have the counselors to support the kids cannot be successful. And somebody earlier spoke out about CPS involvement. I mean, there are, our kids, when I taught for 4 years, most of my kids were undocumented. Most of my parents did not speak Spanish or English. Most of my parents did not know the resources that were available to them. And so it's, we need these counselors, we need these social workers to help find these resources for the students, because in the end, this fight is not for right now. This fight is for our future. This fight is for our teachers. This fight is for our students. And I'm so amazed at seeing these beautiful little kids here supporting the struggle and being involved. Because again, we have to stand together. I really believe the reason why the district is now renegotiating with UTLA is because we showed that we will not be defeated. In the rain, we will keep going. Thank you.